I've got an achievement to show you here today. It is this photo. Can you see it? If I were to make the decision to study for an MSc again, would I still choose the school, the course, or even the UK? You will soon find out, and you will be the judge, or you can be the judge. If you are interested in this story, let's go there. Some 17 to 18 years ago was the first time I had applied to study for an MSc in the UK. That was in 2007. I was denied. In 2008, I had applied again. I was also denied. And that was it. I moved on and plenty water had passed under the bridge. 12 years after the first application, I had been to or lived in the UAE, if you like, the US and in Canada. When I reapplied in 2019 for the same UK study, bam, this time. Denied. Yes, refused again. Even despite what you will call a sophisticated travel history, you would think it would be a walk in the park, for where I was still denied. Immigration are your mates. The story around the denial will be in another video. Let's remain focused on why we are here, the eventual UK MSc journey I told you about, and you being the judge, don't forget. Following the denial in December of 2019, shortly after I had arrived from Canada, the untold happened. The almighty coronavirus struck. The world came to a standstill. Nothing was moving that wasn't meant to move. If you remembered from my previous videos, I had left Canada primarily to pursue an academic attainment in another country. And after arriving in Nigeria, and had applied to study in a new country, the UK, and got denied by a visa officer who couldn't fathom or understand why I would leave Canada to study in the UK, as I was honest in my application, you know. Why not send you Canada, sorry? Why would you not want to study in Canada? Why choose UK? She would argue. You see, in life, your life should never depend on visas. Else, you find yourself explaining and re-explaining why and how you are even a living being or a human being at all to possibly a younger and less experienced fellow who will still deny you regardless. The fate of living in the so-called underdeveloped world. Mind you, in 2019, we were still going through a session of interviews to procure a student visa to the UK. I had mustered all energy possible to convince the visa officer during the interview to prove a point of my true and genuine passion for further study. All the questions vary from why the UK, why your course of study, where would you work after it, why would you need a degree, and so on and so forth. She would smile to welcome my advocacy and my enthusiastic responses with repeated assertions of brilliant. Oh wow, brilliant. If you're familiar with Oyinbo smiles and fakery words of encouragement, you would understand me. Oh, not lie. She will still deny the visa. The more I explained, the greater was her conviction to refuse me. Oh my goodness. Why am I even telling you the story of visa denial? I promised to make the story of all visas refusers in a separate video. Anyway, our focus should be on the MSc troubles. Let's go back to the story. Long story short, by 2020, I was in the UK, but not on a study route anymore. Don't ask me what route or how. It's a story forum, isn't it? It's not an immigration class. Let's go there. After being in the UK for about a year, I reignited the flame of MSc pursuit, this MSc pursuit. I'd applied to some other three new universities, Teesside University, University of Sunderland, and Birmingham City University in Birmingham. How beautiful is the United Kingdom, you may want to say. I got admissions in the entire 3 universities. The choice was now mine to make on which one to attend. I was suddenly proud, or made proud again. Also, I thought, no visa officer will dare decide my fate anymore. How sweetly to finally have my own fate in my own hands. This study I'd wanted to do all my life, since 2007, remember. Not because of getting a visa or just so to stay permanently in another man's country. I was genuinely passionate to bag the foreign degree. Don't blame me. This was the in thing in my society. And at the time, even till today, how wrong was Siami UMD for his generalization thereof? You remember him and his story. If you know, you know. If you don't know, forget about it. Anyway, I finally settled for the BCU, that is Birmingham City University, as it's located within the Midlands, where I was living in 2020, as against the others located in the far north. Let me take a sip of water, 1 second. Yes, a little bit. Ubita dicta, they call it in law, right? Many times in life, when we crave for an attainment, when we pursue a course of life with all vigor, all strength, and whenever we do have it in the end, we will later come to our senses and query the strength for which we had deployed chasing the goal, seeking to know if the goal was worth it after all. And most especially, you ask yourself, so this is it. So this is the visa. So this is the certificate. This is the passport. This is the PR. This is the so-called big deal. So my life never depended on it after all. Long story short again, I was admitted into the popular Birmingham City University as a master's degree student. I paid my tuitions in 3 tranches, something of that nature, something around £14,000, if I still remember correctly. As a BSc graduate of political science from the proud OAU, the Great Ife, I wanted to focus more on the law implementation aspect of political governance. In the other schools, these other 2 schools I meant, I was admitted to study MS in criminal justice, which I would have loved to do anyway. But after plenty consultations with friends and folks, and considering the distance as well, settled for MSc in policing and intelligence analysis. Beautiful combo, you may want to say. When you go get all these fanciful names for courses, I beg. They don't study all those Niccolo Machiavelli, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, amongst other out-fashioned titles that will lock you some centuries behind. Let's remain focused. Let's continue. I was very eager and found myself diligent, attending all the classes during the day, even while working full-time at night. Don't worry, my visa allowed it. I wasn't limited to the 20-hour cap of student visa anymore. In fact, I didn't have to do this study because my stay in the UK wasn't dependent on the student visa or study visa, if you like. But I chose to pursue it to prove them wrong, whoever the visa officers have been, for rejecting my student application over the years with all happiness within them. I took the battle personal with these unknown officers of the law. In my mind, I was telling them they were wrong in their decisions of visa refusal, study visa refusal from the word go. So, I took the study so seriously. Summarily, the MSc journey came and was well attended to. Great classes we had, great teachers they were, great school it was, great country as well, but something was missing. Social connection, student rapport, the classroom bonding, the camaraderie. This is a big lacuna that 1,000,001 first class could not fill. I was alone and I was lonely. How is that classroom rapport a sudden and important aspect that is found missing in my life? And why is it so important suddenly? This story is about to get crazy. Listen to the concluding part on the popping up video, the final saga. And I'll see you